Monday morning, friends. How are you today? It is a gorgeous day. We got about a quarter inch of rain last night, and it's a sunny day. We're going to get more rain overnight tonight, and then another sunny day tomorrow, and then no rain for at least the next 7 days in the forecast. But really warm temperatures, like a little warmer than they should be this time of year. So, yeah, that's interesting. And, since I hardly have any ranunculus left, it's not that big of a deal because I won't have to worry about them too much going dormant. So over the weekend, I did catch 2 more gophers. That's 4 down at this point. I am getting better at setting those traps. So today, first thing I'm going to do is figure out where we stand with the gopher traps. Then I'm going to harvest some flowers because tomorrow is my Tuesday CSA day. And then we're going to go down and I'm going to work on re-sowing 2 of the direct seeded beds and then put row covers over those. I still have those row covers, are already pre-cut. It'll be a fast, easy job. And then I think I'm going to work on getting some of the irrigation laid out. Probably won't get it hooked up today, and that's no big deal. But if I get it laid out, then I can staple down the landscape fabric and in that back bed, and also get started transplanting. Yeah, so there's a lot to do. I also had some ideas in the middle of the night, as I usually do, about the home garden and setting up a wildlife pond there, which is going to be a challenge in our super arid environment in the summertime and high heat. But I think I can do it, and I've been wanting to do it. So I have some ideas. It might be a total fail, but I think I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah, so lots of ideas actually swirling in my head. So that's all good. So let's go check and see if we caught any more gophers. It's a little gruesome, but what I've been doing based on some local farmers have told me, not even just local folks, some other folks back east too, have told me what they do when they catch the gophers with the gopher hawker and in-ground traps. I think they're called McAvee traps. They actually leave the corpses in those burrows, which sounds disgusting, but it apparently acts as a deterrent. So since I'm not growing food in these beds, I feel okay doing that. Plus, then I don't have to disturb the soil so much. So when I pull the trap out, I just release it, and the dead gopher stays in the hole. And I pull the trap up and I start set it up somewhere else. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. All right, I'm going to get started and enjoy the sun and yeah, get as much work done as possible because there's a lot to do. Wow, that's kind of crazy. So I caught 1 more overnight. So that brings it to 5. And I just reset traps. And when I was setting the last one, this one that I just set went off. So I just caught another one. So that's 6. That's crazy. There's so far 6 in just this area here that has 5 40-foot long beds. So we're in an area of about 200 square feet, and I've already gotten 6 of them. The nice thing is the one that I got here is the one I've been really after because it's the one that's been eating all the feverfew. So I do have 3, 4, 5 plants left, 5 feverfew left out of the 60 that I planted. I did start 2 new trays of seed, feverfew seed, yesterday. They're 100 to 110 day crop, so it's going to be like July before I get them, but that's okay. These probably won't even bloom till June. I've noticed that even if I fall plant feverfew, it still takes until June. Scabiosa is still intact. Strawflower is still intact, which is great. Snapdragons, for the most part, are the ones that survived the initial culling are still intact. Ranunculus, pretty much all gone, but I'm going to take what I can get from them, and that just means I'll turn over the beds faster for summer stuff. So I'm feeling more confident because these traps work. So if you're looking for a good gopher trap, they also catch moles and voles. It's called Gopher Hawk. It's super easy to use, and the thing I like about it is the only disturbance of the soil is this tiny hole. So like some of the other gopher traps, you have to excavate the run so that you can lay the trap in the run and then recover it back up. So these are great because they don't do a lot of destruction in your beds and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna harvest some flowers. I don't have a lot here to harvest, but we'll get some harvested. And then I'm gonna get to work on the irrigation. But yeah, that was crazy to hear that trap go off. I was like, what was that noise? And then I realized, oh my goodness. I mean, it was been there for maybe 3 minutes, that trap. So yeah, like I said, I don't like killing things. It makes me sad that I have to do this, but this is part of farming, and so is crop loss. But I need to do what I can to negate the crop loss. So I'll just keep using this. It's really going to be bad in the, I mean, pocket gophers are active all year long here in Zone 9B because our ground never freezes. But they are a lot less active in the summertime and into the fall before we get our rains, because we have so much clay in the soil here, it becomes rock hard in the summertime. It's almost impossible to get a shovel into it. So they're much more active once the rains come in the winter and the spring. And so, and they also pup in the spring. And so that's why I'm seeing a huge amount now. However, in irrigated beds, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, that will keep the soil loose and they'll stick around. So I think if I can keep them out of my growing beds, the area around the farm will start to become uninhabitable because it won't be diggable over the next couple of months. And then I'll just have to focus on, the localized stuff. So I'll probably just buy some more gopher hawks and just kind of always have them set. And I'll continue to get better and better, I hope, at finding the runs and placing these appropriately, because they do work when you put them in the right place. Okay, time to harvest some flowers, something a little more fun. So that's the first harvest of ever here at the farm, which is kind of exciting. These stock, they smell amazing. Some of them are a little farther gone, but you know what? The thing about stock is, see, look, none of these are open yet. You can pull off these older ones that are kind of shot and it'll still look fresh and beautiful, and these are still yet to open for the customer. I wanted to show you, so with stock, there are singles and doubles. We want single. I mean, we want doubles because look how beautiful and luscious those are, but you can't tell. So in a packet of seeds, a lot of times you will get, except for some that are guaranteed to be doubles, but this is a single. It's kind of beat up. Still unopened florets at the top. So you can see the single obviously is a wide open petal, just 4 petals there. And then the doubles have this blousy appearance to them. Stalk smells wonderful. It's so sweet. Here's a white one. I got to reposition it in the bucket because it's got a twisted stem. But isn't that so pretty? This is when you weave it through the other flowers. Okay. And then we've got some ranunculus here. This one is, I only cut it for my personal use, but right? Aren't they so gorgeous? Because I mean, first of all, the stem's too short, but it's way too far open. These will all open for the customer. And over a period of about 9 to 10 days, they'll get that big. So they're just really amazing flowers. That's why I was so upset when everything got eaten. But I do have some beautiful pink in here, some yellow, and I think that's a Madame Butterfly one maybe. I'm not sure. Now I'm going to grab all the stuff I think I'm going to need and head out and at least get the irrigation laid out so that I can staple down all of that landscape fabric. So yeah, making some progress. And to my lovely friend Kim, I do drink water. I just don't do it on camera. I drink about 2 of these a day, so I do get a lot of water. I have had some friends on here say that they're concerned because I always have migraines. I've had migraines since I was 11 and mine are mostly hormonal related. So I'm hoping that, see, I'm 53. I'm hoping that after I go through menopause, like my grandmother, it happened to my grandmother, all her migraines went away. Mine are getting worse just because I'm in that super fluctuating period. It's been like this for about 10 years. So hopefully things will get better pretty soon. Okay, off to get some work done. Okie dokie, first things first. We're out on the back end of the property here. I need to direct sow more seeds because they mostly got eaten by birds. That's my fault. And I have the row cover that I initially used, so I'm just going to put it back over after I sow the seeds. I do not have a lot of the same seeds that I already sowed because I used them all, but I do have others that I wanted to sow anyway. One thing I'm going to do is this entire bed is going to be Bells of Ireland. I do not have any more Bupleurum, and there are still some bells in here that hopefully didn't get eaten by birds. And then in this other bed, and you know, if some of these end up coming up, that's great, but I think a lot of them have been eaten by birds. I'm going to sow Baby's Breath, Covent Garden, and then Eryngium, which is sea holly. This one's steel blue. I also have a white glitter, but I don't think I'm going to do that one here. And oh no, I do. And then Snow on the Mountain, which is a euphorbia. This one's great. It's a perennial, and I've been trying to get it going for a long time, but mice keep eating it, so it must be super yummy. It's unusual for euphorbia, though, because they usually have a sap that is poisonous and makes it not palatable for most animals. So I don't know if maybe when they're super small seedlings, that's not the case. Anyway, I'm going to go on and sow these and get them covered up, and then we'll start working on the irrigation. But I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted to do today because I don't have all the parts I need. I'm actually going to have to grab some from the home garden. So what I'm going to start with is some string trimming because that's the first step. It's really tall in here, and then we'll see where we can go from there. So I've got those 2 beds covered and resown. Like I said, I couldn't do the irrigation today because the most of the parts I need are actually at the house, and that's okay. I need to rerun irrigation there too, so it might be a multi-day thing, but I'm in no rush because I don't need to plant into this today or tomorrow. Later this week would be great, and I'll be done by then. But I did want to knock all this down to get a better view at what's going on. So I have a lot of ideas. I think since this area is relatively flat, I'm actually going to come in here and make this the dahlia bed. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to till probably for 2 rows wide, or 2 rows of dahlias wide, because then I can put something up the center so that I can support them all. I'm going to till it deeply because there's a lot of weeds and stuff, but also there's these crazy, like, I'll have to dig that out. And so I want to till this area, and then I'm going to lay down for the dahlias. I'll lay down deeply some hardware cloth in here. I've got plenty. Then put some soil on top of that. Native soil is fine. And then I can add, when I plant the dahlias, I can put compost on top of them. They'll be inside kind of a basket, basically a giant basket. And then I'll also cover them for a while until they really start coming up with more hardware cloth. And so basically, this won't be necessarily a permanent bed, but it will protect them. It'll be way faster and easier than making individual gopher baskets, digging down and putting those in. So I think that makes a lot more sense. Tilling this will mean that I'll have more weeds because anytime you till, you dig up weed seeds from below the surface and you distribute them, and it just makes the weeds explode. So I may also cover it in, for this season, cover it in landscape fabric and plant into those holes. That spacing is pretty decent for dahlias. I could get different spacing too, but so I think I'm going to do that, and that way I can be pretty certain that it won't be a complete weed nightmare, because the dahlias will grow pretty slowly and it'll be many months before we get flowers. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Not going to do that today. The ground is pretty mucky, and that's a terrible time to till. First of all, it creates, when you till in a very mucky soil, it creates kind of a hard pan at the bottom of the tilling area, and then your roots can't go anywhere. So it's better to wait until the soil dries out a little bit. So that'll be later this week because we're getting rain again tonight. So that's the plan here. Up here is going to be, I think I'm going to put I could make a whole lot more beds. I could do another bed along there, but I think for now, I'm going to take this area that's already kind of tilled up, expand it a bit, and put my pollinator bed there. I have lots of plants that I got at the nursery. I don't know if I showed you those the other day. I think I did in a different video, that are going to be coming out here to go into that pollinator bed. I won't necessarily put gopher protection down for those. I'll just set traps and stuff, because those, once they get established, they'll pretty much be there. I'll just have to keep monitoring it. But that is the plan for that area. And I think that's all I'm going to build out, other than the high tunnel / greenhouse. I think that's all I'm going to build this year, but there's still plenty more space to expand. So, that's really good to know. But I think this will keep me busy. I believe I have decided that in the front here, I'm going to put a whole bunch of calendula and some other things that I've got growing already that are ready to go in the ground, and they aren't going to be row crops. So I think that'll be really nice. They'll stay at about knee height. And so I can always plant sweet peas along here or anything else that climbs if I want to, and I can still have some plants in the front using up this valuable real estate. All right, so I think that's going to be it for me today. It's still early in the day. I have some work to do at home that I'll probably film for a separate video, but because most of what I need is at home, I'm just going to head there, get some stuff done. I need to repair the string trimmer again. There's a problem with the intake, so when you push this button to make it suck up the string for the trimming, it won't go, so you have to take this apart. I know how to do it. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I need to do that at home, and then I can do more string trimming out here. I was gonna bring my mower because we've got a great mulching mower at home, but I was a little anxious because this grass had gotten so tall, I didn't know what was in there, and I didn't want to damage my mower with like big giant rocks and chunks of stuff. But now that I know what's in here, because I've mowed it, I mean, knocked it down with the string trimmer, I feel more confident the next time I can come back just with the mower and it'll be totally fine. Steps for tomorrow is I'm going to bring out all the irrigation pieces that I need. Most of what I need at this point is just the valves to go at the top at the headers. So that's, I'm going to put three lines on each bed. So that's 12 valves, and I have those at home. So I just need to get those. So I need the valves. I've already got, I think, everything else I need so that I can get that project done tomorrow and get the stuff stapled down, and those beds will be ready to go. Yeah, so we'll do that. I also need to work on the irrigation at home because even though we're still getting rain, that will end soon and they will need irrigation. The beds that I covered up, the 4x6 beds, those are also going to get irrigation, but it will be not drip tape. It'll be the tubing irrigation that just kind of winds through the beds. That's what I'm going to use at home too. That stuff is much more, it stands up much better to rodents chewing on it, which is the problem I had in the fall at home where they ate all my drip tape. That's another reason I'm thinking about putting a wildlife garden out there. Not that I want to draw rodents into my garden, but they're going to be there anyway. And if I have a water source for them, they won't be eating my my irrigation at the end of the year when we're out of water everywhere. So yeah, just kind of trying to plan in advance. I'm not trying, like I said, to attract rodents, but I have chickens. So rodents in a chicken garden area is just, par for the course. All right, I'm heading out. Thank you for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.